everybody, welcome Patriot Sons podcast, episode 123, Trump class battleships. We're in the middle of a debate about Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi and do they go? I agree with JC. They're a package deal. I'm going to tell you no. The answer is no from my personal belief, Edward. They don't go. There's 3 years left in the term, and now he needs loyalty over MAGA popularity to get this agenda done. Whether he's right or wrong on this, he's going to stick to these people. he's going to stick with them. There's by the time you replace.
Right.
Hold on. By the time you replace the attorney general, so you fire her, now you have to make 90-day appointments until you can get the Senate, who's going to wait you out until the midterms to reappoint your nomination. Now you're after the midterms, and everything is gone. Like you can't even get somebody caught up to speed by the way the Senate would drag out, making sure there is no attorney general of the United States. She stays, and if she stays,
what would be the difference?
Wiles stays.
Like what? Jeff Sessions, you mean? Like that scenario.
What would be the difference between no attorney general and this one? We just have less Fox appearances.
Because I think Pam Bondi, and it just doesn't get seen on the media, is she's been doing all smacking down all the lawfare of the injunctions, the nationwide injunctions, and all of that. And we wouldn't have that, so the injunctions would now stick.
Great news. Yeah.
Yeah. I have some news. I hope that Barron is still talking with his father, because he gave his father great advice during the campaigns about going on podcasts and all that. Yeah. And Trump with Charlie Kirk and Barron in his ear connected with the youth vote. But Gen Z wants to see something happen. They're not going to buy this. They're not.
I would go deeper because a lot of wins have happened, but they're already won. And as we move towards, obviously, the primaries are coming up in just a few months. Spring's around the corner. Primaries happen. And then November is 10 months from now. And think about that. 10 months from now, we go into the midterms. They want to see what he's going to do next. So I liked what he did today. We'll get into all of that. And I like the presentation of how he did it and how he handled himself. What Trump needs to do is keep going, okay, now that we did this, we're going to knock out these next 6 things. Okay, we got that done. We're going to knock out these next 12 things. Okay, we got that done. They want to know what else you're going to do. They already know you closed the border. Good job. Thank you. We love it. That can't be it. What else are you going to do?
Do they understand that if they vote for the other side, that the border opens back up?
Yeah, of course.
But not only that, economically speaking, the economy, that's just going downhill again. So badly, they want to make this part of Europe again, just like our stupid country, where they're trying to drive us back into the arms of the Europeans again. Why? When we ran away from those guys to begin with, to start America, North America. And here we are, wanting to drive us back over there again. Oh, my, this is retarded. No, gay and retarded.
Edward, you're still a subject to the king.
I know. But most Canadians don't realize that. They don't realize the king can wake up in the morning time. What do you mean there's a going on? I think I'll change the law. And yes, prison for you just for, well, it was the smallest of crime. I don't care. You're still getting a prison term.
You were tweeting on Elon Musk's X platform, which is banned in the European Union.
You're going to jail.
What did he say? Was that the gay and retarded thing?
No, I'm saying the king could wake up and put you all in prison for being on X, which is banned.
Well,
you can't.
Right.
I know.
Musk is persona non grata in the European Union.
Holy man, he's more boogeyman to the European Union than Trump, which is wild.
No, I mean, I think right now the pecking order is Musk is the worst, J.D. Vance number 2, and Trump number 3.
Putin.
Yeah.
Putin.
You forgot.
He's in
Putin
the
is
top
going to
5.
take over all of Europe, and it's America's fault. It's Elon Musk's fault for having a propaganda network. Dude, it has been like the last 5 days. Oh, it's been wild with like all of this propaganda. And they're clearly some of them are human bots.
Sean,
They're actual
you
human
need to
accounts.
you
But
need to get busy blocking these NAFO people. They are useless, man. Every time I see one of those little Beanie Baby avatars and he starts spouting off something stupid, I just check and they're NAFO and I just block them. I can't stand it. I won't deal with it. I don't want to know any part of it.
Especially with the number that long, you know it's a bot already. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't interact with them. I do what I do is I watch because they'll do that, and then all of a sudden they'll change their profile picture and description
Mm.
4 or 5 days from now and start the next bot attack on whatever they're mad about.
still a Beanie Baby though on
Oh,
the
yeah, it's
avatar. Yeah,
don't, like, yeah, for all you listening to us, don't waste your time engaging with these people. Seriously, if somebody posts something retarded and you're like, "I got a banger to reply to them." Just hover over their face real quick, and it should show you that they have, like, they follow a couple hundred people. They have, like, 12 followers. Their account's, like, 5 months old, or it's from
or
2011,
10 years.
or
Yeah,
Right,
it's been
right.
on for
that's
10
yeah.
years, and there's no followers. Don't bother replying because you're arguing with some dude in India in a bot
Mm.
farm.
Yeah. And or I love the ones that's got the 8,000 following 8,000 people, but have one follower or two
Uh,
or 15.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, another man who wants to. Yeah. Next, that's just going to run us right in the ground. Even just oh my god, we could talk at length with what's going on with these bot farms. Uh, I'm not going to.
Well, I was gonna ask JC, did you get to catch any of the press conference today with Trump with the Trump class destroyers? About 20 of them we're gonna build.
Normally, I would say yes because that would be the case. But fortunately, we were so slammed that I had to work the front desk all day and sold more than $1,000 worth of gift cards, and we had my lead stylist had like 5 or 6 walk-in appointments, and they were still going when I left. That's one reason why I sent the message and asked you guys, "We doing this?" Because I'm like, I actually could stay here,
Uh,
because there's stuff to do.
yeah.
But I'm sure it'll die. I'm sure it'll die down pretty soon, and the foot traffic trails off after this time of night anyway. So,
Sure.
but no, no, no. I that's a long-winded way of saying I'm
No.
not as up to speed on that as I otherwise would be.
Well, it's a big needed upgrade to our current battleships. You could think of the battleships we have. They're from the 1980s. They could still kick anybody's ass, but these things are
I do no, I do remember when Reagan pulled those out of mothballs.
yeah.
Okay, because the Democrats always try to shrink our naval power,
Yep.
and a even-minded Republican will have to build it back up, and the battleships are a big part of it. So I would assume it's the same argument, 40 years later.
So the argument was he's like, I've got these big 1980s battleships sitting in dry dock, and he's like, man, we could just refurbish them. And he goes, it doesn't make any sense. If we're always 15 to 20 years ahead of the entire planet in military technology, and we have the technology. Let's just build new ones. And
Okay.
so, well, yeah, world class, top of the line, like lasers for defense systems, like both obviously nuclear propulsion, but both ballistic and nuclear missile capable, capable of carrying 100 times the ballistic payload that our 1980s
Wow.
destroyers
Holy
carried
Thing,
smokes.
100
the
times.
thing that would make me uh, support that heavily, which just on first blush I do, is because I've been concerned ever since I've been watching these drone attacks over,
Yep.
the new kind of warfare, and those things are not able to defend themselves from a drone swarm. They would not function well. So there has to be something with advanced technology and capability that allows you first to detect an incoming drone advance and then to neutralize it while you're in motion in the sea.
So these
And
things
I'm
are
sure.
going to. Yeah, I'm gonna to add to your point or answer your question. They will be AI controlled with a
Yeah,
human fleet with a human crew.
yeah, yeah.
So these laser beams, when we're talking about, I know I do this a lot with Paul on Monday Gun Day. Sorry, everyone expecting Monday Gun Day. Paul is it's the holidays. He's with family, but we're here hanging out with you. Is these drones? They're basically the thing you would buy off Amazon, and they put a improvised explosive device on it and fly it at you. So it's almost impossible to even shoot down with our already advanced turret systems. We do get them. We get most of them, but with these laser systems, it'll just be like beep beep.
Keep in mind, the only turret that never misses is I'm sitting in it and it shoots down liberal bullshit on Patriot Sons podcast as often as I'm on.
And we have to keep at it because they get loonier every day. So good for you. Yeah,
All right.
got to keep doing that. I'm sick of that stuff. Oh my god, just the white urban libtard woman could not get any crazier. The way JC, what do you prescribe for that? Is there sleeping pills? You can just sit them off in the corner and just kind of
I
crash out
would I would I would prescribe rending the Iron Curtain that separates our independent media from Canada because you
Yeah.
folks are censored. The
Oh,
Canadians that I'm running into on X are clueless.
I
And I
know.
and I don't mean just left wing. I mean they don't even know what's going on. They have no idea.
How disappointing to be living here amongst the zombies. I got to tell you, that's exactly right. And as Sean would always say, and I'm going back a couple of years ago, before Biden got out of office, we were always joking about which country was going to hit the bottom first because it was a race to the bottom. Actually, it's us. There's the answer. But
Oh no,
you
you
guys
you
made
you
it,
guys win. Yeah, you guys win.
right? Thank God for Trump. Oh my God. Yeah, that was a disaster. It's still there's still problems with the deep state, but yet at least Trump is pulling the market out of the basement from where the economy was going, and everything else for that matter. So yeah, happy.
That's all true, but we got a long way to go.
Oh yeah.
We've got a programmed electorate just like you guys do.
Yeah.
We've talked about this too, but to JC's point, right? Like sometimes you'll engage, and it'll be a Canuck account. They're verified. They've been around 3 or 4 years, and you say, "Whoa, whoa, 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 no, that's not at all what's going on." And they're like, they go, "Okay, Russian bot,"
No, I
and you're
know.
like, "No, you, whoa," and then you just kind of go, "Okay,
No,
I'll
no,
let you be. I'm just going to let you be because you're not even going to entertain learning new information."
not me. I'm
Because
telling you.
you've been I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about all the people we engage online.
I know.
You're obviously not willing to engage in learning some new information and going, "Well, I still think you're wrong, but now I know more, or maybe I should look into this more because maybe you're right." Any of that. They're just like, "No, you're a Russian asset. Clearly you're a Russian asset. You're a Putin puppet." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Holy crap, you don't realize how censored you are that you can't see forest through trees."
But
This
I don't
is
get in
this
that
is
game. I'm
this
telling
is
you,
where
I
the
saw gay and retarded right off. That's my line. I'm telling you, I'm doing it.
All night. You get it all night, buddy.
this is where the memes come in very handy for me. And you guys have seen my shtick, okay? But I run into people like that. Usually it takes about 5 exchanges
Yep.
to get to the point where you can see what somebody's got. And then he starts going on about how even though the election people in Georgia confess that they stole the 2020 election now, and they have confessed, they have openly admitted that. Edward, are you hearing this?
I am so.
Yeah, okay. They openly admitted that they stole the election, and the left wingers are still insisting that no, that isn't what they said. It was just this. It was a clerical error. And then here's my favorite. And this is where the essential JD shows up. Well, it's Republicans that run these elections. And so then I go, yes, those Fulton County Republicans, and I put up a meme of Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade, and the caption is "Call of Booty," you know, modern Democrat warfare.
You're not far off.
Well, that's the thing, right? They go, it's a Republican state. You go,
right.
But
Fulton County is as Democrat as St. Louis City.
We've already gone through the admissions of the ballots that weren't counted or thrown out. Conservative ballots that would have turned
confessed that they did it. They confessed that there was human intervention that affected the vote totals. They had to rescan new ballots to make the numbers match on the recount and have it come out with the same number. 5 years, citizens in Georgia, because Boss Hogg and Roscoe P. Raffensperger wouldn't do shit. Okay, so citizens, citizens took it upon themselves to do an analysis of the entire election. They zeroed in on Fulton County. They spent countless thousands of dollars getting stonewalled by the corrupt Mick judges like McBurney and McAfee, and Kemp wouldn't remove the booty call from the Trump case. Just on and no help at all from the government, and yet the citizens proved it anyway, and they managed to win enough elections to get a few honest people on the board of elections or whatever. That finally said, "Yeah, it's clear. It's what happened. We should show you the ballots." And the left wingers still insist that Biden won.
Oh yeah,
right, because no court took this up. This is bull. No court took it up. Well,
there was no judgment.
Court took it up, even after the governor and the Secretary of State ignored 44,000 signed affidavits saying, I saw irregularities.
Mike Lindell and Emerald Robinson went there personally to deliver 750 boxes of affidavits to Brian Kemp's office.
Rudy Giuliani is now bankrupt and a convicted felon because of this.
And the people that won the case against him were the perpetrators of this fraud.
Yes.
So, does he get made whole?
I hope so. What a sad day.
Who's going to do it?
Whose money?
And Sean, Jeff Clark, they're still pursuing him in litigation over Georgia. They've admitted it.
You know what? The same thing's happening up here. So I follow you. I know exactly what you're saying. And most people they're not even aware of it. Not even aware of the cheating.
No one in Canada even knows what we're talking about. The fact is that we've actually proven that the 2020 election was, in fact, stolen from Trump beyond a shadow of a doubt. Because those same tactics, I guarantee you, and this is why the turret is really good at ferreting out left-wing bullshit. They travel in packs. The cheating they were doing in Georgia mimics the cheating they were doing in Michigan and Wisconsin and Minnesota and Pennsylvania and every other areas. They migrated to Arizona. That little dickwad Stephen Richer is trying to get involved here. Georgia's right. And mad liberals, the ace inspector, just slams him. And then Garrett Archer, that little faggot, who's the data guru that tells you that everything for the establishment says is okay. He pops his head up, and Mad Liberal says, "Oh, Garrett, I'm so happy to see you. Here's where it happened." And he gives him the chart and he circles the batches. This is where it happened. I'm shooting messages to people. Brian, stick this in front of Rachel Alexander's face. Make her write a column about this. And you wonder why the EU doesn't like Twitter.
Yeah.
It's because a bullshit shooting turret master in St. Louis can actually reach out and talk to opinion makers and give them
It
ideas.
goes deeper than that. I don't care whether you like Anons or don't like Anons. Anons are notoriously good at digging for this data and just putting it out in front of people like me or JC who can just get the data distributed. And then you have the people that, man, I'm just lucky to hang out with us, like Data Republican, who can
Yeah,
put the whole thing into a fucking 500-page book.
the whole
Yeah.
thing. The whole thing.
Yep.
And and tie it up with a bow and prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is what happened. And you put that in front of them and they go, "You love Putin."
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I
right? That's what they go to. It's you're a Putin puppet. Look at
You're
you,
a Putin
Putin
puppet.
puppet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm voting Vlad in
Well,
28. Yeah.
then, then every once in a while I'll be like, "That's really interesting. Did you know that your buddy there, Vladimir Zelensky, was literally killing Russian Orthodox people for going to church?
Yeah.
That never happened.
know. Never mind the priests and the ministers as well. But
Jail,
they,
prison, for
that'll work.
life."
Uh-huh.
They were after 2014. Zelensky is in office, and when they started this campaign, I see we got plenty of listeners. Welcome, thank you. Drop us a comment wherever you want. Call us retarded. We don't really care. If you're
Oh, we are
super
retarded.
obnoxious, the algorithm will take care of it for us. We won't have to take care of it. Shortly after 2014, though, Edward, they actually started putting landmines in the Donbass to
Country.
eliminate Russian Orthodox people who lived in what technically or currently would be a better word, was the borders of Ukraine. And the people that lived there, to be clear, didn't care that they were inside of the borders of Ukraine. They're like, "That's great, and whatever. We'll pay the taxes. We'll do the things. We'll even get our driver's license in Ukrainian. We don't speak or write Ukrainian, but we'll learn it. It's close enough.
Uh-huh.
Not real close, but close enough. We can do that for you. But we're Russian, and we want to go to the Russian Orthodox Church." And then Zelensky goes, "I don't know if let me Victoria Newland will know. Let me ask her." "Oh, we must eliminate the Orthodox Russian Church. We must disavow Russia. Has to be
Because
disavowed."
that's because Victoria Newland's family are Trotskyites. You know that.
Ah,
There's a blood feud going back decades, and she's in the loop. Yeah.
wow. You never mentioned the elimination of all voting, closed down. You're not voting for anybody because well, we can't vote. You can't vote me out because we're not voting at all. You forgot to
Well,
mention
all right, right, but
even
what's that
talking
called?
about
What's that called when a country all of a sudden, and they've tried to accuse Trump is going to do this over and over, of
Authoritarianism.
shutting down voting, shutting down and taking over in a
Autocrat.
military coup, using the
Autocratic
military to
breakthrough.
run the government. What's that called? There's several
I
words.
think
you
it's
mean
called fascism.
Fascism, yes.
Yeah,
Authoritarianism, dictatorship.
yeah. Totalitarianism.
uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes.
So they haven't had
Yeah.
elections in what, 4 years now? It's good on it's I mean, we're getting
Oh,
close to
it's
4 years.
longer than that.
Sorry.
And the war wasn't happening back then. They're like, "Well, we had to,"
Yeah,
or their Congress voted to get rid of elections. I'm
yeah.
sure they were not coerced in any
No,
way at
no,
all.
no, no,
Not at
no,
all.
no. I mean, they did it for the people. That's
Yeah,
it's too dangerous to vote. So we'll just
because they
cancel it, and
needed this European actor, to lead them through a war that they couldn't have possibly won without, the help from the West. First, take the money out of it. There was a car bombing today, well, yesterday in Russia, that took out a Russian general. And I just made the comment on X as like, do you realize that Ukraine? Because everyone's like, yeah, that loves Ukraine, they're like, look at how great it was. It's like, do you realize Ukraine would have zero intelligence without the West? So you're talking, not only are you talking MI6, you're talking CIA, you're talking State Department, you are also talking Mossad. To
Assad,
all the people that hate
Assad.
Mossad, to all
Yeah,
the people that hate Israel, without that Western group of Saudi Arabia's in there, in that
yeah.
whole group of, intelligence that kinda runs the world intelligence agencies, there's no way Ukraine, if left on their own, could have ever pulled that off.
Oh hell no, no. I
So,
mean,
yeah, for
remember,
all you guys that love Ukraine and hate Israel, they couldn't have done this without Mossad. Oh, by the way, do you remember the drone attack that Ukraine did deep
yeah,
inside of Russia where the
That was
Mossad?
that was
To
a long
all of
time.
you
yeah.
that hate Israel,
Same
this is
same thing. Same thing that
Mossad
Mossad did.
technology. Mossad
Same thing
technology.
Mossad did to the Iranians. Which helped their effort and cleared the way for the B-2 strikes.
Yeah.
Their drones knocked out everything. And this kind of circles back to our battleship discussion. Any battleship that's not equipped to deal with that isn't worth bringing out of mothballs. It's not worth building. If you can't deal with that stuff, don't do it. All right, because that stuff is going to be reality.
And
You have to be able
that
to.
is modern war.
Yeah,
It's small, cheap technology. It is.
Yeah,
right.
10,000 of them all at once, though.
But you have to be able to detect it and defend against it.
Because there's a lot coming all at once, not just one or two. You get 5 to 10,000. That's a lot to handle. So
Well, and even the bigger stuff, Paul and I have talked about this on Monday and Gun Day. Even the big stuff that's like as big as an F-16, at least in America, they're fully autonomous. They just happen to have a human in them, but they're
Right.
AI. And you're gonna see in future, they just we don't. You don't telegraph your punch. You don't say, "Hey, I'm gonna send my robot fighter jet. See you soon."
no,
Yeah.
But that's the like we're that far
I mean,
advanced that all of our ride-in vehicles, whether it be ground, air, or sea, are human optional. Optional.
well, those
And
B-2s,
we're looking at it from, especially Trump and Hegseth are looking at it from a point of, we are going into robot warfare. Why would we put a meat bag, a human, an American
right,
citizen, in
right.
harm's way when I can send that thing that does all the functions of an F-22 or 16
with a
and not
joint.
have a human inside of it?
Uh-huh.
And I don't even have to babysit it because I just say, here's the parameters of your mission. Go do it. Come back to
Mhm.
me when you're done.
Yeah, that's where we're at. Uh-huh.
That's where the United States is at. Everybody else is
Oh
trying to
God,
steal that technology.
do not make fun of
No,
our one
the
submarine. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Jump starting it off the dry dock. That's our Navy. Booster cables to a battery guy, and there's
We've
starting the
we've
radio.
probably got the Red October. We've probably got that sunk in your northern waters because nobody can get to it.
yeah,
Wouldn't doubt that.
that or the you have to dredge up the Edmund Fitzgerald first, right?
Yeah, yes, that was a tragedy. That, oh my gosh, yeah, yeah.
All I can say about this stuff is when I heard Hegseth was nominated, I said to myself, "Wow, that's innovative. I mean, that's different." But that was on the heels of Gates, who I thought was a great choice for Attorney General because he was not going to be like Bondi and Susie Wiles.
Correct.
And Hegseth obviously is the anti Lloyd Austin. he's actually the superstar of this administration, and I'm thinking from what I'm seeing that I saw today that my friend Lieutenant Colonel Donut Vindman
No.
is being scrutinized by the Secretary of War. And I know that Mark Kelly is already in the dock, and I think there's going to be a report on what's going to happen to Mark soon. And I did see someone pile on today with, what is it? Mark smurfed like $761 million worth of political donations from, that stuff that James O'Keefe found out about Act Blue, how you've got all those senior citizens who are living on $2,000 of Social Security a year, but donate 200,000 to Democrats. Yeah,
In
Edward.
small $10
Yeah,
donations 7
Wow.
times a day.
Good for
you
you.
didn't hear about that in Canada, did you?
No, because
I can't believe it.
you got
Well,
shut down. Now we don't
well,
get
I
the
don't,
news up here.
JC, to be fair, I don't know that the American people who aren't on both Rumble and X would have heard about it either.
Okay.
Because, and this will bring me to the next thing I want to talk about, because our American media refuses to talk about it. All of our American social media, except for those two I mentioned. By the way, we're live on both of those right now. You can
Yes, we
check us
are. In
out on
fact,
either.
our numbers look good tonight. I can see them up there. It looks good.
Is that our even our social media networks are censored, and obviously all of our television networks are censored.
Oh
And you
yeah.
go, well, but Fox? No, don't tell me, but Fox.
Come on, they're the worst.
I could explain the whole thing about
Now
Fox to you. Fox is not your friend. It's not your friend. But hear me out. So all of a sudden, because I think it's fun, this is why you don't block every bot. I don't engage with them. That's how I deal with it. Is I got to watch the bot army switch and now all of a sudden call CBS MAGA because Barry Weiss said, I want more information on a 60 minutes we're going to broadcast, and I'm going to let you broadcast it another time when we do 60 minutes. But I want you to do some more work. I want you to do some more journalism.
She wouldn't allow a hit piece on El Salvador, right?
She said you could do the hit piece, but I want to hear from both sides.
Right.
how
Well,
many-
we reached out
she's
to
MAGA.
both sides, and
Listen,
she's like, no, you really didn't. You can't say we're going to run this piece tonight at 7 p.m. And you email them at 4 p.m. That's not reaching out.
no, that's
Give
the
them
left.
48 hours bare minimum. Give them a week.
That's the George Slopadopoulos way. Yeah. Oh, I
Yes, it is.
requested comment 5 minutes before I went live. Yeah.
Yes.
He must have missed an email. I
journalistic
think it went into
tactic.
his spam filter. Yeah.
Yeah, common journalistic tactic. It's
I-
not journalism.
It is. I still love that. If you
Sean,
tell a
come
lie,
on, man. You're killing me here. It's common left wing journalism tactics.
if you
Is
tell,
Is
Our
it?
gateway pundit, our media constantly ask them for comment. And of course they always say no, but they do ask.
if you
Is
tell a lie
journalism?
over and over
Is
again,
it?
it becomes
Is it even journalism? Because I would
journalism.
say it's not journalism what they've been doing.
No, it's not.
No.
Being an activist for a certain cause, is hardly journalism. That's pushing through, your agenda, whether it's secret or not. It's still an agenda that's hidden from the public that they just keep mailing through. Go ahead.
Even someone as wretched as Tel Aviv Levin, okay,
I love that.
will invite those people on his show. And of course they never respond. I mean, Mark is Israel first. Okay. I mean, no question. He's like Ben Shapiro's cranky uncle. Okay. And Lord knows Ben Shapiro is getting cranky enough in his own right. His presentation at Charlie's Amfest was, in a word, disgraceful. It was
Oh, wow.
one sour note after sanctimonious, imperious, talking down to everybody. Who in the hell do you think you are? And and you're doing far more harm than good, because one of the keys to Trump's success with those younger voters was he was able to bridge the divide, that those guys are of the opinion that the U.S. is too influenced too much by Israel, and they're a little more sympathetic to the Arabs and Palestinians and that than guys in my generation historically have been. Now, I do think that Netanyahu and his Greater Israel project is a bit fanciful, okay? Especially with the size of Israel versus the neighbors. I think you're a lot better off turning your swords into plowshares with the Saudis and the Abraham Accords. You obviously need a strong military, but you can't just think that your big buddy across the globe is going to go in and change any regime that disagrees with you. You've got to learn how to live in a tough neighborhood, but keep your wits about you.
Oh, and
And
you also got to look at this. If you understand anything about Israel and Israeli politics, obviously being a true populist political state, where you actually have to put together a coalition to win, because
right,
there's no way any majority could ever win an election.
no,
What I could tell you after watching Benjamin Netanyahu through the different terms and the times he was out of power is that he is a wartime prime minister. And as soon as they clean this thing up and other countries start to come in and rebuild Gaza, they're going to vote his ass out so fast. So his dreams of being empirical, they don't go anywhere. So just stop yelling at Israel, because that's not where it's going to go. Just
right, right.
And I'm not saying, trust me, bro. We could give you lots of historical reference. And Bibi Netanyahu is not popular right now. He is popular when the country is under attack, because he's very good at defending the country.
I don't know. You have to remember, this is not his first time in office there. So, he
He's
was
been
voted
kicked
in.
out before. He will be kicked out right
Edward,
after this.
Edward,
How do you like
everything changed.
that? Huh?
Everything changed when he sent those missiles into Qatar. Everything.
Yeah.
I was listen. I was sitting there and I was watching the pager thing where he blew the nuts off all the Hezbollah guys. I was laughing. That made my day. I'm like, hey,
Oh,
we just
that's
avoided
great.
we just avoided World War III. That's one of the greatest military things I've ever seen in my life.
That was
Okay,
excellent.
That was
and
genius. Yeah.
those missiles that they sent into Iran, where they killed the negotiating team, and I mean the missile went into their bedroom and didn't disturb the next apartment. That was breathtaking lethality. I mean, just shock. You talk about shock and awe. I mean, you're taking out the people, and one by one, every senior person of these terrorist states was going down.
He took out a senior imam by putting a bomb in the wall of a house, and then having somebody watch the house for a year and a half to wait for the imam to come home, and goes,
Oh,
I didn't hear about
imam
that one.
gone.
Well, that's the first
no,
Senior
time I heard that.
imam. Like, incredible stuff. That's what Bibi is good at. He is not good at diplomacy. And Trump's way of working the world is way different than Bibi's.
well, and
Agreed.
now you understand. And one thing that I could never understand, and this was something that I couldn't figure out, was why in the world was Israel so clearly with Biden and actually in on the steal? And that's a subject that could light Amfest on fire. If I
I,
got up on stage in the turret and said something like that, and then point out that the Pegasus software that was used by our intel services sucked the identities and the context and everything off the J6 phones was from Tel Aviv. I mean, that's absolutely where it was patented. That's where they got that system from, and it was
Siri
under
is
test. It wasn't even widely available. It was very the fingerprints were very clear that Netanyahu had greenlighted cooperation with the intel services that were overthrowing Trump. Bibi doesn't like Trump because Sean just said it. Trump doesn't want him to fight everybody. and Biden will do it because he can make money.
It's the easiest way for it was the easiest way for the Biden administration, obviously. Just
Yeah,
fund them, but don't fund them so much that America hates me would have been Biden's
right.
position.
Put the battle groups over there.
Well,
Let Iran launch their drones and shoot down just enough of them.
Trump, well, but no, hold on. But what everybody needs to understand that's listening to this is that Trump's opinion is, and give me just give me 2 minutes, fellas. Well, Trump has gone like so since the end of World War II. The United States blows everybody up, and then we nation build, and that clearly doesn't work, right? Nobody, they're like, we still hate you, and as soon as we figure out a way to kill you, we'll kill you. But well, you know what? We'll take your money until then. Trump goes, you know what? Wait, I like money too. Do you guys just want to make money together? And they're like, what? Saudi Arabia, take them for example. He's like, hey, no, hold on. I get it. You hate Jordan. You really don't like Israel, but you can get along with Israel. But did you know if we do Major League Soccer, golf, and a whole bunch of resorts, we can all get super fucking rich? And then, Saudi's like, yeah, but the Jordanians called my mom fat. He goes, oh, Trump. Whoa. Hold on. I understand he called your mom fat, but let's get rich first. And then we'll sit down at the table and we'll call his mom fat.
Yeah.
And then let's wait. And then, oh, after his mom's been called fat, his feelings are hurt. We're going to look at him and go, hey, listen, I really know you guys hate those rich bastards in Qatar. But man, do they have some deals to make you guys filthy rich? Oh my God, you guys won't even want a war anymore because why would we want a war if we're all
It's
getting
like
loaded?
it's
He's
like
taken
John.
a totally different approach to uniting nations that should not be united in the way we thought of in the 1900s.
Wow.
Right.
Look at
He's
Qatar.
looking at this like, hey, listen, you know what? If I can make you all rich and you have now a business partnership with your neighbors, you're
You're not
not going
going
to
to
want
fight.
to piss your neighbors off because you're going to cut off your own funding stream.
Sean, basically what his vision of foreign policy transcends the liberal rules-based order.
It does.
And it scares the shit out of Europe because they all end up
Especially
out of the game.
It,
They've
it,
got they've got nothing to offer.
the
they don't
word
have.
oligarchy is gone in the
What's
way
that?
Trump is setting up the Middle East.
Yeah. Uh, you know,
They've got nothing to offer. What do
you're
they have?
nothing. As a matter of fact, that's why they
What
want
does
to
the
trade us.
European oligarchy have now? They're almost broke.
They are
Right.
broke. They are broke. That's why this Russia Ukraine thing is heating up even more, and they don't want to end because there's going to be a moneymaker coming up. You wait and see.
But
I don't want it. I
Because
don't want it.
we're
But
not going to play.
I hope
Edward,
not.
that's the whole. But Edward,
I don't want to
that's
get
been the
sucked
game.
into.
That's been the
Huh?
game for years. When we rebuilt Western Europe, think of how lucrative that was for U.S. contractors.
I
Okay,
know. Yep.
and then the Soviet Union fell, and we got to rebuild Eastern Europe, and you saw yet another huge stock market boom. And you can see the same. They're trying to apply the same game in Iraq, but it didn't work out. It
There's
didn't work out in
nothing to
Afghanistan.
build in Iraq.
Right. Too many brown people dead in those nations. So let's go where we can kill some white people, Ukraine, and then we can get cheap land and then we can rebuild there. That's their only economic presentation is we blow it up and then we rebuild it and we all the defense contractors get rich blowing it up. We get rich building it back because we let the contract.
Yeah. You do
That's
realize.
not
Well,
a productive.
I got
That's
to add
not a
one more thing to that. So after World War II, everyone says America's not a manufacturing nation. It's not. Well, it's dormant.
right.
And that's what they're trying to, that's what with this, you see all the things on the TV, on the internet, the European Union, including actual leaders of the European Union on the internet, on TV, trying to provoke the United States into a war because they are broke and they are depending on the United States to turn back on their manufacturing and just flood the planet with money. Flood it with money. And you say, well, how is flooding it with munitions money? Everybody gets paid along the transfer points. Everybody. And
Well,
that's
remember,
what and Trump's like, you know what? And that's kind of where he's going today. He goes, we are going to bring back American manufacturing, and we're going to start by building our Navy. We're going to start by building our Space Force. We're going to build our own.
and
We're
we're
not,
gonna and we're
and
gonna
if you guys want to buy some of our old 1980s shit, we'll sell it to you because we don't
and we're
need
gonna
it.
build and we're gonna do high tech manufacturing too with chips and the rest of that, so we can supply our own weaponry.
Right?
Why should we be vulnerable to Taiwan to manufacture the chips we need for our weapon systems? Because that doesn't make any sense.
We don't.
I
As a
mean, I'm
Canadian,
sorry, folks. I'm sorry, folks, but Pat Buchanan was right. He was.
oh, I haven't heard that name in a
I
while.
mean, he was right. And to pull that full circle, we get back to this whole Israel thing again. Because they said Pat was an anti-Semite, and yet Pat Buchanan really wasn't any different than Tucker Carlson. I don't think Tucker's an anti-Semite. I think he questions the level of Jewish influence, and he speaks for a lot of young people in that why should the United States spend so much time, money, and energy and whatever coddling Israel? Israel needs to step into the future, like Laura Loomer says. You know, yes, we're an ally, but they can't be a protectorate.
Uh,
Yeah,
um,
I don't think.
I,
Well, I think what you said fundamentally is correct, but I think it goes deeper, and it goes to. But if you got to look at also roll into how Trump's play here is. Hey, listen, we totally get Islam. You're a little Satan to them. We're big Satan, and we're not walking away from you. But
Oh,
you're also out there just trying to piss people off. Hold on. Remember the Abraham Accords, Israel. And remember, we're going to make all of the Middle East want to be part of the Abraham Accords. And if Iran doesn't want to be a part of that, that's their problem because nobody will do trade with them anymore. They
right.
will do trade with the United States, and we'll get you all the oil you could possibly ever want. And this
see,
plays bigger globally. We don't have time, but
Oh,
to get into
there, there-
Venezuela, to
there's
no,
get
so
no,
many
no.
shows. There's so many shows wrapped up in what we've talked about today. Almost
Yeah.
every 5 minutes we've got another podcast.
Uh,
well,
I want to say, as a Canadian, though, we'll buy that 1980 junk that you have. We're used to
you don't.
that.
Hey,
Before
no, no,
people start
you
before
don't
people
need it.
start sending you hate
You don't
mail
need
about
it.
me
You don't.
hating Israel, go ahead.
Canada doesn't. No, I want them to have some equipment. You don't need equipment. By proxy, you are our border, and we must
Yeah,
defend it. And you guys threatening to buy jets out of the Middle East,
No,
we're
that's
just laughing, going, "Great, waste all your fucking money. We don't give a shit about that Gen 3 technology.
not going to happen. Only an idiot would.
Buy all of it. Buy everything they have because you know what they're going to do. Whatever country you're buying from is going to say, "Hey, America, now that I've got some money, can I buy some Gen 4 shit from you?"
that's right.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, as we opened up, or as we were green room opening the transition, obviously laughed about your one submarine, but we this whole thing about the Canadian military, and there is one. There are people that
Yes.
perform good service. I'm not making fun of
Yes.
the human beings.
Mhm.
Oh,
The technology,
last time I saw them, they were trampling some invalids in Ottawa.
Yeah, that's
I've
exactly
always
right.
yeah.
You're not far off.
that's the mounted posse.
Oh, okay, all right.
And that was our prime minister in cabinet that you're talking about.
Jesus.
Yeah, I
It's
know. Oh my
it,
God,
like
it's so retarded up here. It's not funny.
what right?
You're looking
What we
at. You're
opened up
looking
with
at.
is you guys had made some of the worst decisions you could possibly have made
Oh,
ever since Trump got elected. Not only before he was inaugurated, you guys started going,
You
I'm
know,
going to fight. And this was on your television. We're fighting Trump.
I know.
Elbows up. We're fighting Trump.
That was all these school teachers in those unions,
It
professors.
was your
Yeah, how
government.
smart they are because we're not doing it. No, we're not gonna trade with the states, our biggest trading partner. We just have to cross an imaginary line, from one part of land to another. But no, that's too easy. Let's ship all this junk off to miles and miles, thousands of miles away over the ocean just to have it unloaded and shipped to. Yeah, let's do it that way instead of the just drive it over this imaginary. Yeah, come on, people. This is the idiot. Well, I don't think he's doing it accidentally. He's doing it on purpose. He's driving this country so far on the ground, and that's how he's running this thing right on the ground.
Edward,
Purposely.
that's what
Hold
the
on, hold on.
that's what
Edward,
the
Edward,
EU wants.
hold on. I got it. As the resident Canuck, do you feel that your Canadian government, at least nationally, is trying to separate you from America
Yeah,
for the benefit of yourself or for the benefit of the European Union?
for the benefit of the European Union. I mean,
Okay.
if the European Union is going down, we're all going down together. Every country affiliated with, I don't care if it's Australia, Canada, all of the Dominion countries are going down all together. The whole thing's going up in flames. So I think we should stick with America, as we've talked about so many times, making this great North America superpower the world could never touch, and that scares them. England's worried. The King's worried. Very much so. Why would he come to Canada to open up Parliament? That guy hasn't been in this country and doesn't even care about it until, of course, America wants it. All of a sudden, now, Bisping, I better go there and show them who's boss, and not let Trump take. Yeah, this is what happened. And these idiot Canadians can't see it for what it was, because again, they're libtard Canadians, so yeah, they're stupid. Yeah, so they got this
I
king
got it.
who I'll lay down the
Great,
law now and show Trump. I mean, oh my God, shut up already. Get
great,
back.
Great
Get on.
Britain, Great Britain voted for Brexit. I say you guys
Nice.
vote Connexit.
Yeah. That's good.
Listen,
Eh?
Hungary,
Eh?
Hungary and Poland and Italy might also want to do the same thing.
Yeah, you four ought to all do it together.
You know what? Brexit was already voted on and passed twice. No one wanted to stay in the European Union. They're still there.
But they really didn't get out, did they?
I know. That's what I'm saying. So even though you're voting, they're still going to keep you in anyways. You got to fight like America did. I keep telling
Well,
them the same thing.
hold on. The UK technically, I think, got themselves out, but then no. But here,
Wow.
hold on. But they are them and Germany really, and through funding from the United States. We didn't get into that part. Or the funding mechanisms for the European Union, because all the other states, and they're great countries, great nation states, but they're small. They have teeny tiny little GDPs. They can't do this, which
They're
totally
so
makes sense.
happy that way. Good for them.
It totally makes sense for them to go, oh, we should be a collective instead of being, we want to be sovereign, and individual freedom is the most important thing on earth outside of Jesus. But a lot of people that don't believe in Jesus, second thing would be individual freedoms. That's a human nature thing, right? I want to be, just leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, school crossing guard or president. Leave me
Right.
the fuck alone.
Yeah,
Right?
no, we all want that. Get it on my hair already. Get lost. Stop bothering me.
So the UK collective, that island-ish, and Germany being the largest GDP in the area,
Yeah.
are the collectors of United States money that we give that funds the European Union. So even if the UK technically Brexited, they couldn't Brexit because they still have to hold up the whole rest of the continent.
Well, Germany does the largest part of that. If you go back to the pound, for example,
Same mechanism. Same mechanism.
Germany?
This is what we tried to talk about this in a phone call a couple of weeks ago. Is we're slowly turning the spigot of money off to the European Union. And that's why they are freaking out and going, we must World War III.
They're broke
The
anyways.
only way to get America to turn back on the faucet of money.
And they're farther away from that now than they've been in any time in the last 2 years.
Don't even get me
Look,
going.
Trump is using his iron will to end that war. There's no question that war is going to end because Putin sees that that war needs to end, and Ukraine is grudgingly admitting that there's no chance for them and that that war needs to end. And the grandees in Europe want the spigot turned on, like Sean says, which is why they've upped their GDP spending to 5% to kick into NATO to try to give it some juice. But that's a drop of spit in the bucket compared to what we were doing before. I mean, we pumped $350 billion over there, which is an obscenity. And I I still can't. And that day, one of the lowest points. Look, I've had a lot of low points over the last 5 years with the stuff that I've figured out, and I'm sickened by all of it. I'm sick to death of what's going on. But the day that the U.S. Congress rammed through what was it, 80 to 100 billion more for Ukraine, and they all stood there waving the fucking Ukraine flags on the floor of the U.S. Congress.
We have the same idiocy up here. Oh, yeah.
No, what they were celebrating was that they were getting paid. They just paid themselves. That's what
Yep.
that was. That's no great love for Ukraine.
You know what? And whenever you see large sums of money going anywhere from a country, the politicians are getting paid. That's their payday. You don't know. There's no record of what you're going to spend it on, and you don't even get that information.
100 billion. I listen. We already know how much 100 billion is.
Uh-huh.
That's how much Pfizer made in 22, right? Which was or was it? Yeah, $437,000 a million for every congressional district, so they could buy everybody on the vaccine, right?
Right.
All
They
right,
did
if you
good
got a few
food.
minutes, to play, you're still missing something, Edward. JC, I think you'll catch on to me. The name of the game in empire building has been since the beginning. It's just been through currency, right? It's the shekel was the first one that was used, where you just took it and they're like, hey, you're like, hey, I've got this shiny thing. It's called a shekel, and I want to buy all your goats. And they're like, well, I can't give all my goats away. How would I grow more goats? They're like, but I got the shiny shit. You can use the shiny shit to go buy other shiny shit.
Right.
So through the ages, and we might have to do this in a multi-part series and explain coinage indoctrination, which is used to conquer nations without ever putting boots on the ground, or very few boots on the ground, and without ever going into a military conflict with them. And this comes all the way back from 5000 BC with the original shekel. Is if I could just get them to trade with my shiny thing, then I control them. I have a level of control over them. And Trump. I'm not saying Trump isn't using our shiny thing, which is a dollar, but he's using it in a different way than it's ever been used before. And people, oh, he's an idiot. He's a retard. He has no idea how to do business.
Yeah.
Trump is the smartest guy is any other guy. You can call. I don't care what names you call him or anything, but what everybody's missing in this whole thing, and he's going, listen. We did, and we were for 400 years the coinage indoctrination people. The United States, formerly the colonies of Great Britain, we
Right.
were the makers, we were the builders, we were the wealth creators. So we had shiny shit to give to people to trade. And then they would go, well, we want more of your shiny shit. And we'd go, well, but we'd really like you to switch who your governor is. Or we'd really like you to get rid of your mayor. And they go, okay, 2 more of those shiny things. Let's keep trading.
Yeah.
Trump is using the principle of trade, but taking away the indoctrination of it by going, you have to be American centric. He's saying, no, no, no. You could be you. Stop fucking killing each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's use this and all get rich. So he's taken something that's been going on for 5,000 years in human history and go, no, we're going to change how we do this. Fundamentally, across the world, we are going
You're
to
not
change
wrong.
how we do this instead of using it to indoctrinate people to be like us by force or by coinage indoctrination. We're going to welcome them in and say, here's what we do. Why don't we all be partners? And if somebody calls your mom fat, then we'll punch them in the nose.
Right.
It's in it. Like, I know Sean, this is what, and I've been watching this for years. This is it. I've looked deep into coinage indoctrination from the beginning, the original shekel, all the way through. I
History.
did an 8-hour podcast on it. I don't know where it's at. Probably on some radio station somewhere on the internet.
God. Remember that? Oh my God.
But I've invested a lot of time into understanding how
Sean,
money.
no one's ever called you a wonk, have they?
I don't know. I have no idea. And so, what the European Union's doing right now is trying to wake up some of the Americans and the American politicians who would totally believe that, oh, if we just throw money at the thing, they'll all of a sudden do what we ask them to do. And Trump's like, no, no, no. We're actually going to turn off the money this time. We're turning it off. It's off.
Yeah.
European Union? Well, spigot off. It's off. It's done.
I'm not a European guy anyway, so it's just fine by me.
He did it to you guys too. He did it to Canada.
Oh yeah,
you
we've been
guys,
suffering from bad policy for the last 10 years now, choking even.
Listen, you guys have never seemed more European Union to us than you do now.
I know.
Because of all the squawking, all the resistance, all the anger. It's stupid.
You know,
It's
when I
just
talk about
stupid.
the white urban libtard woman and how dangerous and how just annoying they are, imagine a country with 40 million of them. That's what you're looking at.
You have 140 million liberal?
No, 40 million.
Oh, 40.
Urban. Yeah, that's all of us. In other words, all of us Canadians are acting the same way as these white urban libtard women, and that's the annoyance.
No. It seems like you've all got PMS or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on up there. I mean, is it the cold? I mean, maybe we ought to get you guys some better alcohol or something.
It's about time the nation does stand up against his liberalism, though, for once and for all. Kick the king and his ass out of here once and for all.
Well, all right. We obviously want to get more into that stuff tomorrow when we do some more Canuck sticks. But what's the over/under on that ever happening? I mean, 10%, 15%.
It's hard to say because we've gone so far left and kept turning left and turning left.
What happens when they get poor, like actually poor, a year from now?
What's happening now?
The trade war.
But they don't understand why. They keep blaming.
They might be a little bit poor now. Wait a year into this trade war.
I know.
They're going to be they're going to be like, I can't afford my Mercedes.
I've been telling
all the liberals in the towers in Ottawa and in Toronto. Like, I'm going to have to sell my Mercedes. I can't.
Yep, I know.
That's what I'm talking about. When all of those liberals all of a sudden can't afford anything because of a trade war.
I'm telling you, they're so brainwashed as well. They still think it's Trump's fault. If we can just get rid of that Trump guy, we'll be rich again.
They're the same way in America as they are in Europe, as they are in Canada. And I get what you're saying. I'm just curious, how long do you think
The stupidity
Trump,
will
now that
last.
the spigot has been at least dialed down to 2, and it's gonna be turned down to 0 of America funding the world, how long do they keep this up?
You know,
Or
it's
when
not.
does
It's not
Canada
Trump.
collapse and say, "I have to leave, I have to Brexit, I have to connect it"?
Well, it's not Trump that started closing down all our
Nixon.
industries. That's a government decision that come from the United Nations. That was their policy saying, you know, that forestry, slow down on that. Mining, slow down. On oil, no more production there. It's the United Nations policy that's enacting all this slowingness of
Why
the
are you
economy.
listening to them?
Huh?
Why
What's
are
that?
you listening to them? Do they have jurisdiction over your nation?
Absolutely, they do because Carney is allowing it. He loves this stuff, and he'll just sell it to the libtards and Canadians, thinking, "Oh, that's the right thing to do because we don't like Trump, but anything but Trump attitude." That's that TDS coming in. I'm thinking, no, people, but you know what? There's like 5 of me in the whole country. Everybody else is pro libtard, pro stupid, and you can't fix stupid. You already know that. I'm trying. I'm trying here.
Oh, man, you got me. 5 of me in the
The,
whole country.
the,
Well,
the
you might be
Canadian,
right.
the Canadian patriot.
There's 6 of us. It's like
He
I
is
miss
the
Elder.
only son, left up there in, Canuckistan. Jesus Christ.
Kazakhstan it is for real. Oh my god.
Well, obviously, we already talked about in today's episode, the media. And the media here in the United States is not a lot better except for a couple of platforms. But the media in Europe is just as terrible. Which brings me
We
back
do
to Barry Weiss. Go ahead and say what you're going to say, but we need to explain who Barry Weiss actually is.
well we do have independent media in the
Mhm.
United States, and it's rather robust. It has occurred over the last 20 years. When you first heard of the iPod, and then the first person that I ever heard say the word podcast was none other than Rush Limbaugh.
Mhm.
First, I didn't even
Love
know what he
that
was
guy.
talking about.
The Ditto
I didn't even know what he
Cam.
was talking about. And if I ever thought when I heard him say the word podcast that I'd ever be a main person on one, that was unfathomable. Because where the hell would I get the broadcast equipment, or who the hell would I talk to, or what would we talk? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this was just a few short years ago. I mean, not a long time. All right. And Barry Weiss got disgusted with the COVID crap while she was at the New York Times, right?
Mhm.
And so she went out and took a principled stance and either got fired or resigned, or they went from liking her to disliking her because she wouldn't do exactly what a liberal drone would do. So they separated, and she's a Jewish woman, and she's in New York City, so that's friendly turf. She's got people that have money that are associated with her, and that. So she decided to form an independent company, the Free Press,
Yeah.
and to
Not a
start
bad place.
publishing.
Honestly, if
Right?
you're looking for information, it's not a bad place to go.
No, no, no. And I mean, they're thoughtful, and I mean, as long as you know where they're coming from, it's it's what the editorial page of the New York Times used to be 40 years ago.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you can actually get a balanced perspective. And yes, they're liberal, but they're not flaming, uh,
Close enough.
America haters.
Correct.
Okay, so and
Not
she
very
had
fair.
reasonable success and got comfortable and et cetera, and she had her niche. She was kind of like the Jewish Megyn Kelly, for lack of a better term. I mean, Megan's got a little more star power and she's a little more verbal, but Barry writes better. Okay, and the next thing I know, uh, this tech guy, Ellison, is buy, buying the Free Press for like $150 million. And
Oh,
I mean,
you're skipping a part. You're skipping
go
a
ahead.
part. She goes back independent again. She's still with the Free Press is just starting. She's
Right.
independent still. Elon calls like 5
Oh
people.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Elon calls 5 people. He goes, I need 5 journalists, actual journalists in here to read all of this shit and write a report up. And he goes, I will not censor anything you say. I won't give you codes into the system, but I will give you a human to give you access to anything
Right.
inside of Twitter.
And he really did get some good people like Schellenberger, Matt Taibbi.
Very
I mean,
wise.
very
Taibbi's
wise.
awesome. And
Exactly.
Taibbi is not Schellenberger, Taibbi, not MAGA, not
Oh
Republican.
no, not even close. I mean, they now
Very wise, not MAGA.
admit that Trump's view has some merit, but I don't even know that any of them have voted for him.
No, I doubt it, but I
Yeah.
don't know. But
Okay,
so
so
all
thank
right,
you
so now
for filling that in.
we're at the Twitter files, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they're
and I
doing
mean,
spaces,
guys,
they're doing independent work.
you need to keep in mind as we're talking about this, as these files were being provided to them, an FBI spook, Jim Baker, was interfering and trying to censor the feed that was was going to these people. I mean, these people will stop at nothing. Edward goes on about these libtards. I mean, these Washington lawyers, they're just barracudas. And here he is. I mean, he's working at Twitter because Jack Dorsey was dumb enough to hire him, or he got forced to, or whatever. And of course, Elon doesn't fire him right away. So he gets himself in position where when this disclosure is happening, he's got the stream and he's pulling shit out of it. And he got busted. What a crazy time. And they're publishing all this stuff, and yet
Well,
and
and
yet
right, and now you have this journalist. You'll have all these journalists that they either were or already have left their affiliations in
right.
mainstream media, and they're hacking it on their own, and they're in the most controversial shit of their
Right.
lifetime, and
Mhm.
they're just reporting the truth of what they see. Barry
And
Weiss is one of these people.
right. And Edward, let me just pull that for Canada. Nothing like this has happened in Canada whatsoever. You guys, this element of this independent media with these people like Taibbi and Schellenberger and Megyn Kelly and the rest of these people, even what do they call him? Burrito Mussolini Fuentes. Canada doesn't have it. Canada doesn't have anybody like that. There's no alternative voices to state media. There's not.
Well, we
And
did.
and it yeah,
We
and
did.
it's really it's mind-blowing when you're talking to a Canadian online that they don't even know. It's like talking to somebody whose rear view mirror is missing on their
Well,
car,
remember they were
or like that
also
they don't
no,
have a
no,
gas
you're
pedal.
totally right, JC. I got like this whole Twitter files. Why it's so important? This was also happening into the Biden years. It
Ah,
like
Yes,
Biden is literally obviously he wasn't the cog. He didn't even know what was going on. That's fine. We're not gonna. We'll deal with that another time. This came out of the Obama administration, right?
right.
We've already explained all that. We can explain it in detail if you guys want to let us know. Drop a comment. We'll explain what happened there and how you got CIA, FBI, military intelligence inside of all of the media who was controlling the narrative. And these brave journalists said, it took Elon's up on his offer and said, fuck yeah, I'll do it. I'll even leave my job if I have to. I'll do it. And they were spending 18 hours a day inside of Twitter headquarters and going, no, show me this or show me that. Because they did not have a password to log in and they had to
Oh,
ask. But that was only because we didn't even know what was there. Elon didn't know what was there. It has nothing to do with me.
well, and
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 we
and and Barry Weiss, of all, to get to my point,
yes. Go ahead.
reported some incredible findings against the government.
No, she did.
Incredible.
She did more than I thought she would do. I was not thrilled to hear that she was one of them, but she acquitted herself very well.
yeah.
Yeah, well, apparently today I found out on the internet she's MAGA.
Well, right. No. So, Edward, I had the same reaction when she got this. Ellison gave her this position at CBS. That, oh, okay, great. I mean, here we go, another, another libtard roots. in New York City. You know, what's she really going to do? But today, okay, I
Okay,
gotta give her
wait. No,
props.
that's a good question, because you obviously are aware of her and her character. I did not see her that I saw her as, yes, left-leaning, but, truth-seeking.
Okay.
And that's kinda where as I've followed her career for the last 3 or 4 years, is that even though I have no idea how she votes, I'm only guessing,
Oh my
left,
God, I
is
can
that
guess.
is
Yeah,
that she no, but she wants the truth. She wants the truth in the story.
Sean, she's not going to vote for Trump.
No,
Okay,
I'm not
all
asking her
right.
to vote for
She
Trump.
might. She might vote for Vance. She
My
might.
I don't even care if she doesn't
All
vote
right.
for Vance. What I'm coming at from real journalism is even though she is, to the best of our knowledge, left-leaning, she is
Yes.
also truth-seeking, and she wants the truth of the story. She actually wants the story. She doesn't want, we're only gonna focus on one political side of the story. Which is what brings us today. But and that's like if you disagree with me on Barry Weiss, you're more than welcome to disagree with me. But from my experience, she was willing to look at things and go, "Okay, here's the story, even if it sucks for my party."
Well, I kind of find it odd that someone would slam together two sentences, two different thoughts, a truth seeker and a liberal to get that doesn't make they don't go together. They never have. Truth seekers and liberalism are not the same. They're
Edward,
Left, left,
opposites.
left.
Edward,
Left. Even
I wanna tell you where I'm at on Barry Weiss. First of all, it's not very difficult for someone to make me suspicious because all you have to say is uh, New York City, New York Times. I mean, we're already at strike two. Okay,
right.
Yep.
so you know, there's. I mean, we can go to strike 2.5.
But the
So
woman,
with me, I'm wired to be skeptical. But
right.
what happened with this story was a pleasant surprise
And if
for
you're
me.
if you think that she's actually, going out there, hitting the bricks, and seeking truth and recording it, and getting to the bottom of everything, if you think that's what she's doing, and I find it I, very difficult to believe that with no hidden agenda whatsoever,
She's
I
not.
can't buy it.
She's not doing that. I can promise you, and Sean will back me up. But what she did do was she insisted on equal time. She did not run a piece that was going to be tough on something that's important for us without getting the views of the other side.
Mhm.
And that is typically what
Well,
they've done over the past 10 or 15 years when they do these railroad hit jobs and people sit there and sit still and just get run over by a tractor trailer basically.
Yeah, and I
exactly
get
right. I'm
I
used
guess
to that.
I guess while we're at, to Edward, to answer your question, I am not like, I'm not a fanboy of Barry Weiss, and I'm not advocating that everybody should now tune into CBS. I'm defending the fact that that was the most journalistic shit I've seen probably ever, because she just wanted the story no
Yeah.
matter who got hurt.
Well, remember, this is the network. This is the show that edited Kamala's
Yep.
remarks to make her look better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is the network. This is the show that had Leslie Stahl sitting there and Trump saying, "Well, you know, the Hunter Biden laptop," and Leslie Stahl saying, "But Donald, no one's even been able to prove that's authentic."
Right.
I
When
know.
when the FBI had it and had authenticated it and knew it was completely true and everything on it was accurate and held it through an entire impeachment where if they would have released it, the impeachment wouldn't have ever happened. They put the entire nation through that,
Yep.
knowing that they had it. And even after that, A member of the media on CBS on 60 Minutes sat there and acted like it wasn't true.
Didn't exist. There
This is
was no
disgraceful.
laptop.
All right.
Apparently, well, I'll have to watch the podcast, but apparently there's a podcast. Is it Sean Ryan and Hunter Biden did a podcast about this?
Right.
I have no idea what the story is. I'm not going to get into it. I don't care whether you like one or the other. I'm not, but apparently there's more. There was no laptop coming up, but yes, you're right, JC. And that you also got to look at this and go, here was the fascinating thing. I just want more information, editorial information to look at this story before you run it on 60 Minutes, which used to be 20 years ago. All of us would have watched a 60
The
Minute
gold
show.
standard, right?
It was the gold standard. She goes, I want more.
No, well, that stupid thing.
And the attack across all media is that CBS is now MAGA. Cancel your Paramount Plus subscription. And they're all posting pictures of them canceling their subscription to CBS.
Because she did one fair thing.
Yeah. So I want some more. I want some more for this story.
Well, let's see.
That's what she asked for. She asked for, I want more. Oh, and that doesn't make her, I think, to everybody out there listening, no, I don't think, of course she's not MAGA. Don't be retarded. And especially
she would never, listen, she never would vote for Donald Trump, ever. I guarantee it. All right? Like I said, she might, if we're talking about being fair, she might be persuaded by J.D. Vance because he's got better touch with the lady.
I'm not even going to get into where she's going to vote next. I'm really curious to see. Because all right, if you guys
Sean, the reason I bring that up, and I know I'm frustrating you a little bit with that, is just that calling her MAGA means she's a Trump voter. That she's
I get that.
Oh, her entire heritage screams you can't vote Republican, much less MAGA. Shit, she couldn't even vote for Pence.
That's my point.
Yikes! That's yeah.
My inquisition and my interest in this is as follows. The legacy media itself is going to die. It's going to die with, we've got two generations right here on this podcast, Gen X and Boomer. The legacy media will just die by nature because people don't watch television anymore. They watch things like this for some boomers that are enlightened and Gen X watch these, and young people don't watch any of this shit. They don't care. They can watch whatever the hell they want on their phone and 6-second clips.
TikTok. Yeah,
we could argue about how brain rot that is, but it doesn't matter. Media is moving on. I'm just curious in the next 10 to 20 years, which is about, I think, all television has left, if what kind of impact she's going to make on legacy media, and will it be greater or worse than the Rumble and X people that do media? Do the alternate. We are the alternative media. She is not. But could she make an impact on legacy media?
Yeah, definitely not.
Well, let's put it this way: if you're going to cost the Ellisons money, you may not make much of an impact. And look, all of those years. This came clear to me this year too. This is another one of these late revelations. Is that USAID, the agency, had its finger in everything, and it's all about cultural persuasion. And I care, Jim Acosta got $4 million from USAID. Need I say more? now do you wonder why these networks are willing to take all these losses and we're never going to do anything but liberal reporting? It was because they were being paid to do it.
Absolutely.
Not direct payments from the government, but you know how to do it. You know, you slide it over there, you put it over there, or it's a grant, or you get this, or you get that. And now the most egregious people, the Colberts and the Kimmels, are going to be canceled because they're losing so much money that even if US aid was still operating, they couldn't cover it. All right.
Mhm.
I mean, Colbert takes $60 million an episode to produce that brain rot. I mean, who the hell would even watch that crap? Dancing syringes. What a pussy. All right? I mean, come on. Man up, guys. All right, Kimmel. What a loser. I mean, these guys are
man up.
awful.
That guy.
Okay? but they were subsidized.
They
Uh-huh.
knew who their voters were that subsidized them.
That's right. And I mean, it was like one big NPR. The worst of the worst is just this whole idea that you had all this cultural sludge. It got to the point where when Newsweek went out of business, Glenn Beck made a competitive offer. They wouldn't sell it to him because he was a conservative. They sold it to some liberal for $1. The name Newsweek was sold for $1.
How much do you think Matt Drudge made when he finally sold?
Oh, to take him out? Can you imagine how much they paid him?
Oh, it had to be super big bank.
Yeah, yeah. For also part of it being a non-disclosure agreement that you can't admit you're not here. And obviously no one knew where he was anyway,
Which
so that was
is
easy
easy to do
right?
for
Yeah.
him because he's like, nobody knows where the fuck I'm at. And he always wanted to be that way. But the amazing
I remember his TV
transformation
show.
of the Drudge Report, right? And this is it was Twitter was available, Facebook was available, but this was pre getting information on that. You shared pictures of your cat or your daughter's
Yeah.
birthday. So you go to Drudge and you're like,
Food
here's the
book, yeah.
headlines. They're written out, and some of them are fucking hilarious headlines. I'm gonna open the story. Some of them are doom headlines. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna, Venezuela chopped down 3 gazillion acres of forest today. I'm gonna, but this was pre really modern day X, and
Right.
then Trump gets elected, and all of a sudden, holy crap, it was nothing but anti conservative doom scroll. I would
It
check
happened
it probably
happened
for
within
about
12
10
months.
months after Trump. I would check it,
Yeah.
and just to see what the hell. I was like, what happened?
Sean.
And then I did find shout out to a website out of Columbus, Indiana, citizenfreepress.com. Citizen Kane over there at Citizen Free Press. You'll find him other places on the internet, but he kind of picked that up. If you're into that type of website, the Drudge style, his team does a really good job.
And there were a lot of guys who tried it that did not do a good job, but he
Right.
really did. Yeah.
Yeah. Citizen Kane's a really, really great guy.
And by the way, for those of you who want to know his bona fides, he used to be a producer for Lou Dobbs, so he's from he's got good heritage.
I love Lou Dobbs. He was, sad he's gone too, but yeah, I love that show. Good guy.
I miss him. Hey, listen, just for Lou, the John Durham investigation tonight, day 563. It is difficult to think of a more insincere, it's insincere, sanctimonious, futile exercise in bureaucratic inertia.
I love the guy. I know.
That was like his last an exercise in such craven insincerity that you can't describe.
Just loved him.
Of course, that was his last night on Fox.
He does have a certain, I don't know, a certain air about him that reminded me so much of Rush in so many ways,
No, they were cut from the same cloth. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
TV's a totally different animal too. And a lot of TV guys, would have loved to be AM radio guys
Huh?
because of Rush.
Yeah.
TV's a totally it's always been a totally different thing. The
Right.
cadence is different, the storytelling is different.
And if you want the perfect example of how different TV is from radio, it's Bill O'Reilly, who
Oh, wow.
Yes.
can
Yeah.
can do a credible job on a TV show, but on radio, he's unlistenable.
You know
Just
what?
Well, and you could go, well, Rush Limbaugh had a TV show very early on, and it was a stinker, it was a dud.
yeah,
Um, it was radio. Radio was the thing.
radio was
And
where he
radio is
shined,
still
yeah,
important, and what we do here is obviously a mixture of it because people can listen to us and listen to us only, and even if we bring them some sort of clip, the audio is the most important part of the clip we're playing. You don't
right,
actually have to see the clip. So we're giving you a televised version of radio.
right.
We
So
don't have to be wordsmiths. We don't have to have the flash and trash. We're somewhere kind of piled together. We're not
Okay.
wordsmiths, I'll tell you.
No, we're gonna have to run that back through the, marketing department. I don't know if that one works for us. Do
Go to
do you wanna do you
HR.
wanna try again?
May
You wanna
not
Go
try
that
again?
may not appear that may not appear on the banner in the Canucks studio.
Oh, man. Movies will be made about this,
You know,
laughing at well, no, honestly, because laughing at this I know it started early, and if you look at the whole podcasting game, we're late to the game. We've been
Right,
doing it for over a year, but we're still way late to the game. But there's going to be movies written about how this whole new media started and all the different genres of it.
yeah. No, yeah. Speaking of
and
which,
but we have to win the culture war, so they'll have to tell the truth about it.
Hmm.
That's the hard part.
you know what? Your belief system, what you believe in, even as a nation, that is your culture. There is no if, ands, or buts about that. That's you.
Well,
That's it.
How do you convince your people that that's your culture?
Well, but I
right.
don't think
That
convincing that.
no, no, no. This is important. This is an important thing, and I know we're running late, Edward, and that's okay because we're at least for me because we're not going to run too much more this week. We definitely will be for everyone who wants to watch the Canuck show. We'll be on tomorrow. We'll talk about other shows later in the week, but it's Christ's birthday coming up. So, anyways, explain to me how you want a culture war. You need culture, but how do you win it? What are you doing to win that culture? How do you just say, "My culture is Christianity"? How do I
Well, you change that.
go out there? How do I go out there and say, "Do you realize that uh, Easter is the second most important holiday on the planet?" And they're like, "What's Easter? It's a bunch of bunnies. Who gives a shit about that?"
Uh-huh. Well,
How do you win that culture war? No, this is a great question. How do you win that just tiny segment of the culture war?
but that's not the entire culture in its entirety. You're just giving me one little snippet. I'm telling you, you change what they believe in and spin that around and use even what they believe in to something else, and they're going to run right for it. And that's what happens. That's what's been happening. Let's bring in a different culture. Your culture is not so, it's so passe. It's so yesterday. This is new. It's hot. This is where it's at. You could bring in, say, I don't know, East Indians. How about Muslims? Let's throw
So
that
you
in
you
the
you, you like
debate.
In
you like
in
you like
in in
Somali
in
culture?
in American Western schools, children were taught that if you say 2 plus 2 equals 5, you're good. Everything's fine. You're
Oh, yeah.
culturally correct.
That's the new math.
How so I'm
True.
talking about alright, so I'm talking about Easter. No, and I'm being very specific to one subject. I could talk about Christmas. I could talk about math. How do you win a culture war? There's an answer here. but how do you win a culture war? It's not about teaching people the correct history, because that doesn't win you a culture war. It doesn't. I promise you, it does not.
I'm curious to hear the answer to this then. My curiosity is perked. Tell me, how do you change that besides doing what I said, changing their beliefs? You tell me how this small culture war is going to be won if you're not going to change your belief system. I don't know how it's going to be done.
Culture's always won through the arts and entertainments of a culture.
Oh, it
But it
has
has to have a point.
Absolutely, it has to be, and it has to be popular, it has to be fun.
Edward. That's why the Nicki Minaj thing is so important in the United States. You probably haven't heard about that either, have you?
I did hear, by the way, I actually did hear about that on X. Not through
Where?
anything else, but that Medium platform we call X, I get most of my news from that because that's more current and I can trust the people I follow
And
because I'm not.
Nicki Minaj is condemning the killing of Christians in Africa.
Well, but
And
she's the only one that is, though. No one else is. No one else even talks
that's the
about it.
point.
Doesn't matter, she's got 5 gazillion followers, it's a
Right.
first start.
She's got people who would never tune into 60 Minutes.
Well, then she's my new
That
hero if
hang
that's the
that
case.
hang on her every TikTok.
Arts.
Well,
Yeah.
The
Yes.
arts.
I have to
She's
say,
right.
The arts motivates people, it changes people's minds.
It
You could look
touches their
back
heart.
at just like, for something that people who are listening to us could reference,
Music
1960s protest music. Why
reaches
is
into
it
your
one of the most
soul
popular eras of American music?
because it was when the left wing felt pure in their motives and they were going to right a wrong. And so they associate the music with doing good
Mhm.
and liberating Black Americans. And it was them that did it in conjunction with the churches. And a big part of what we've had difficulty with since is, and these are the No Kings protesters, by the way, all right?
oh,
To
yeah.
draw a bright line is to get those people to wake up and see how far the culture has drifted from the good that they thought they were doing, even to the point where the culture now harms the very people they sought to help. And yet, because it's their religion, Edward, and Christ is not, they are unable to process criticism. And people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Alexandria Ocasio Cortez are their high priests.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can't criticize them because they're religious deities. People don't believe in nothing. Once they get rid of God in their life, they believe in perhaps themselves, or perhaps they believe in their own virtue or whatever, but they want to signal it. They want to feel good about themselves. And God knows we can't have this Trump. That's TDS right there.
Well,
That's where it
but
comes from.
it's okay, it's tribalism, and you identified
Right.
that correctly as tribalism, but it's also, pre-Trump, this thing happens too within the people who are, not Christians. I'm not gonna go into, who's not a Christian because we've done that plenty, but,
Mm.
mostly Christian, let's say the Christian faithful, but it's, they wanna be popular,
Right.
and the idol, we could use that term correctly, the celebrity, an idol tells
Yes.
them what to think, and they're like, "Well, I really liked what so and so I," it doesn't matter what decade, pick a decade. I'm really not trying to pick on celebrities. I'm just pointing out that when they say, "I really didn't like Bush's, going into Afghanistan. I didn't like the Bushes doing that." And everyone's like, "I don't like the Bushes doing that either." And then Ted Koppel or Dan Rather would pick it up, I think the American people do not like this war in Afghanistan. So, reporting live from the ground now, we have a journalist, blah, 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 in a helicopter flying over Afghanistan, doing absolutely nothing to show you that absolutely nothing is actually happening in Afghanistan. And this is why we shouldn't be in this war.
Dan Rather, the supposed conservative that we found out was an absolute libtard. You can't stand that guy. But yeah, you know what? You're just proving my point even more, though. And I don't think that the arts. I guess it could
No,
be a
no,
The
Sean,
tool,
Beatles. You can't
Edward,
tell me the
Sean
Beatles
is
out of
right.
England changed American politics.
but
You
I'm
win.
talking about.
Let me soften it.
All right.
You win culture wars through emotion,
Wow.
Mm.
by
Yeah,
touching hearts.
and I think that's a difference between.
You touch hearts through beautiful art and beautiful music. You
Yeah,
invoke
All we need is love.
I
Da, da,
right.
da,
agree.
da, da.
I'm not saying I
All we
disagree with that.
need is love, love.
The
Now I
All
reasonable
we
admit,
need is
person,
love.
the reasonable
Nicki
man.
Minaj. It's strange to look in my foxhole and find Nicki Minaj.
Uh,
That's been my December surprise.
I
that was on not. I never had that on
I
my bingo card either. That was a surprise.
I
Came out of nowhere.
understand that it's part of the culture war, and I am not going to turn away from
No,
what she's doing. She's calling out white genocide in Africa.
yeah,
That's what she's doing.
and
And she's like, "Fuck all of you who won't look at it."
she is more authentic and more useful to Western civilization right now than the clergy of the Protestant and Catholic churches combined,
I
who
know.
will say nothing
I
about
know.
this.
I've been saying that for years now. You're absolutely right in saying that. And yeah, the church does need a good dressing down the odd time because they're not doing
But
their jobs. I know.
this is where Trump is so different than everybody else. He's our first culture war president. That's what
Mhm.
he is. And that's what has them terrified because they thought they had the culture locked up.
No, yeah.
If I had to ask him to do things a little bit differently, I might. But he actually smashed through. And look at all the celebrities that have come for him
Oh,
and
yeah.
been left by the side of the road because he is actually a bigger celebrity than they are. And so Bruce Springsteen trips when he comes on stage and he just looks old and useless and washed up because he is. And
I know.
Trump is still this shining star. So I hear all the panicins going on about the polls right now. Nothing's decided yet. I think the economy will surge some next year as a result of the tax refunds, no tax on tips, big beautiful bill. People be feeling better about stuff. Prices are plummeting. And people say, "Oh, the gas prices are only down 15 cents." Fuck that. They're down 60 cents here.
If
All
you
right.
live
No,
in a if you live in a libtard state, they may not be down as much as like in California,
well,
for example.
that's,
They may have dropped.
and they're actually passing legislation to keep the prices high. You know that.
Yeah, well, like
Do
I'm saying,
anything to
because
hurt people to stop Trump. They will.
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
libtard.
absolutely. Yeah, and they did go down. Obviously not
A lot.
enough because of, state taxes, but
Okay.
no, yeah, they're like, "No, we need to raise that up because we're losing revenue now,
Yeah. I know.
state revenue." No, no, but culture.
Oh,
Oh, man, a lot of times I'm told, think about the Roman Empire. Let me go to the specific moment,
The Christians ended
where
that one.
one Caesar said, "Give them gladiator games." And if you look, like, if you
Right
could
on
look at
source.
modern day, let's just zoom fast forward to modern day America, entertainment. Whatever
right.
that entertainment is, it could be the PlayStation
Football.
or the Nintendo or, yeah, some will say MTV.
Red
MTV was
Bunny.
crucial in getting people elected.
Yes.
MTV was paid by USAID. Oh, nobody knows
Of
this yet.
course they
Are you
were.
kidding me? To get out the vote. Remember the get out the vote
Rock
campaigns they
the
ran every
vote.
year? And they
Vote
ran
for
out with
Slick Willie.
cameras and they're like,
Yeah.
look at all these hot chicks. We have to get out to vote for these hot chicks.
Yeah.
Uh, like I this
Vote for Slick Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so how do you take that away from them You become you just
Well,
take the cult you take the arts from them, and you go, "Whoa, no, how can you?" Yes, you can.
Yes, you
Yes, you
can.
can. I'm telling you, country music right now is hot.
Yes,
Super
you
hot.
can.
How do I know? Because, John Rich has a live stream that runs 7 days a week from 5 PM until 3 AM, playing live local artists from his bar in Nashville, and
The
when I tune
Redneck
into it,
Riviera.
I will watch it, but when I tune into it, what I notice is the numbers. Thousands of people are watching it. They're like, "I don't wanna watch the fucking TV. I'm gonna watch this, and I will just click a button and put this on my TV, and then I can still doom scroll and argue with all of you, but I've got John Rich's Tavern on my TV playing live music by young new artists, or some cover bands. It is really good. It's a culture is the arts. So, we could just go on and on and on, right?
I know.
About
I
how
know. Andrew Breitbart said that politics is downstream from culture. He was totally right. And in fact, the combination of Breitbart and Drudge in the double O's in the late 90s was the late 1990s was really a dynamic combination, and they got their footing with the full Monica in the Oval Office, and they went forward, and they really frustrated the early years of Obama. You remember that Breitbart was promising to vet Obama and check his passport and find out how come the dust jacket of his book said that he was a foreign exchange student born in Kenya. But
you know why?
nobody followed up on that, did they?
No.
But the point was that Breitbart was a culture warrior.
The media
yes,
won't let
and
them.
the news doesn't matter as much as the culture does. And
That's
if the
right.
culture's all going one direction,
I don't know, but we can
I
talk
don't
about
Well, it's
this.
true.
We could talk about this at length, maybe tomorrow or another show. But running 2 or 3 hours like radio we did, not doing it.
no, no,
Not
like, if
tonight.
you gotta go, I totally get it. If both of you have to go, I totally get it. It's a fascinating thing. We got plenty of live
Well,
watchers, so
listen, I can look and see that we're not the only ones fascinated by it.
yeah, so
You know,
Yeah,
there's plenty here to talk about.
I gotta say
yeah.
one other thing. Then if facts, reality, belief system wasn't just as important or the most important rather than culture, then why do we have media lying to us constantly? If that made no difference, if it was just culture,
Whoa,
Sean,
whoa,
Sean, I'm gonna let you take this.
you're missing the whole thing. Culture brings you to truth. A culture can also lead you away from truth. Now hear me out.
uh,
Why did Charlie Kirk use politics to drive people to Jesus?
wait a second. You and I both know that religion and politics cannot be separated. They're one and the same thing. It goes back to your belief
But
system.
if you go to TikTok right now and start surfing, you're going to find a 10, 15, 20, 30, 45-second very good videos on
Mhm.
politics that are going to tell you that Donald Trump is the worst human being since Mussolini because the people don't know about Mao. We could explain all of that to them. They don't give a shit.
I know.
But
That's
it had
right.
a really good beat behind it. It was well edited video. It was entertaining, and they got something out of it, even if the information they got out of it was
Was wrong.
incorrect.
But
Culture, using the arts
I know what you're
through
saying.
entertainment, going back to the gladiators, if you entertain them, they will focus on that, not their sorrows, which is the massive burden of taxing and the wars.
Of course, because how else are we going to expropriate their wealth? Yes.
No.
I know I sound like a Marxist, but I'm not. It's just the game's been played forever.
It's so true, though. That's why
Well, that's
that's even
no,
happening
that's not what
here.
I'm trying to lay out is that
That's Canada.
game has been played out through history, and they're very the people who want to stay in power are very good at using the arts and convincing the people of the arts will support you. We'll get you more money. We'll get you more following. We'll get you a bigger crowd at the Coliseum or the bigger crowd at, United Stadium or whatever. We'll make sure that happens for you. You will never have to worry about that. You won't even have to be worried about any criminal activity you do. You just have to say, I love Mussolini.
That's it.
True.
Trump said, you know what? I love the arts. I'm going to fix an arts building in the United States.
Yeah. I'm going to fix the
And
Trump
I'm
Kennedy
going to
Center.
bring in a bunch of people that young people have never heard of. They don't have a fucking clue who Sylvester Stallone is. They don't have a
Did you see?
clue, but they like it's gonna happen tomorrow night, I believe, is when this stream goes live. It's pre-recorded. They obviously they're all like 75 to 85. They did this at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon so that they could take a nap at 4. Let's not be ridiculous. And so the show will go live at 8 or 9 or live quotation marks
Oh yeah.
8 or 9 o'clock at night on
It will
Wednesday.
run. It will run at 8
It will
o'clock.
run,
It will
right?
run.
And it'll be entertaining. But from that, they took back which they lost, which was art, and they're going to start bringing in. I guarantee you where this goes, and John Rich is going to have a play in this.
Yes,
Is
he
they're going to
is.
start bringing in new, younger artists that attract young voters, and they're just going to show them the art and then let them see what the artist thinks about politics. And the artist is going to go, well, how could you not find yourself in Jesus? And they're going to go, wait, that's everything I've been told that was wrong in life. And then you're going to get another show at the Kennedy Center. It'll be a whole bunch of new artists. And all of a sudden they're going to go, this is really cool fucking art. This is great music, or this is a great comedian. And then they're going to go to his webpage or his Instagram and go, holy shit, he's a Jesus freak.
Yeah.
Edward,
And it will keep
you know that what he's saying is true.
Yeah,
right?
very much so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, what I want you to think about, Mr. Canuck, who's been blacked out on all this shit, right, is what is the do you now understand the hive reaction to Trump?
Yeah.
He's not cut from the political cloth. He will do things like
That's what he's
this
voted for.
that are a clear and present danger to the order that they are accustomed to and comfortable in. Reworking the hierarchy of the arts to reward other creative people other than their approved LGBTQI. Right. In other words, we're not going to use the arts as a brickbat to knock Americans down. We're going to lift them up in the way that the arts historically have. And he's the catalyst that can turn that key.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
they must
agree.
be rid of him. That would justify a 10-year war of every possible dirty trick you can imagine in the book to get rid of him, right? And unrelenting. They're still going. They will not stop.
But you know what? There's a lot of, and it's just not the culture. There's a lot of magic in truth in what he's doing. The common sense part of the whole thing. That's the appealing part.
Yeah, nobody. No, you got to understand the voter base. The voter base is not even. I'll just accept you into our voter base temporarily because you think like us.
Right.
The voter base does not have they don't study this the way that you or JC or I do. To say that they have their struggles, the same struggles we see. We can identify the struggles. We can talk about the struggles. They don't really care. They don't want to be listening to this show and us explain, well, how does inflation work? Well, inflation is different than consumer price index points. It's different than the UBI. It's different than that, which we could all talk about, and that's going to bore the shit out of them, and they're going to go click. But they're going to go, hey, Nicki Minaj, she was out there bashing Gavin Newsom. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And this is
That's
not an attack on voters. My observation to everybody listening is that voters don't want to be involved in what me, JC, and Edward do
no,
every day.
force them
They
to
don't want
tears.
anything to do with it. They just want to have a decent life. They want to be able to buy at least enough stuff to make themselves happy, and they want some really cool shit to entertain themselves with.
Right.
I-
And Edward, Nikki be dragging Gabby Poo.
Yeah, you know what? And what you're saying is true again, but they want all these things, but they don't want to be the ones to do it or run after it. They want somebody else to. They want to enjoy life. They don't want to listen to
No.
some news or podcast or some musician for culture go on, unless it's making them feel good. They don't want to take part in that. They want someone else to do
Let me go just a
the
little farther. No less of a drone than Mark Halperin. And good God, if you ever want to go to sleep, turn on one of his podcasts. It's perfect. It's like non-narcotic sedative. All right,
Is that true?
the monotone. He's kind of thinking that he's going to balance things out. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Mark Halpern going on about how Gavin Newsom looks so strong. He's in the top tier of Democrat contenders for 2028, whatever. All it took was an afternoon of social media bashing Gabby Poo by Nicki Minaj. Now Newsom's
Good.
poll numbers are under 20%. I mean, she absolutely dismembered him.
But she's got a lot. You know what? If she's actually talking about real life world issues that nobody else is touching, and I'm kind of warming up to her now. I don't really know much about her.
Well, no,
Take a
no.
dance.
The art,
Huh?
the arts do the work.
That's right.
We're here to explain what happened.
That's where.
Like when you
But,
go,
but
wait, what happened? I don't get it. What happened? We are the ones that can walk you through all of it and explain what happened, and we usually do it in a few hours. So I'm making fun of
Edward,
you.
Nikki's cultural credibility comes from the arts. Devoted fans who want to think like she does, who are willing to take at face value what she says.
And she says, I
It's the
want people to stop genociding Christians.
right.
And we show up and go, hey, we're gonna do a Sunday thing. There's a movie out we haven't seen yet because we haven't gone to the movie theaters about David. But would you guys like to listen about David? So we're downstream of culture.
Culture. Right. But
Gotcha. Gotcha.
here's the flip side though. That's what De Niro, that's what Rosie O'Donnell, that's what all these other people have been trying to do to Trump. And they can't do it because he's a bigger celebrity than they are. He's bigger than they are. They look old and washed up when they come for him.
Well, they are.
Nikki does not look old and washed up when she comes for Gabby Poo.
Do you know that Rosie O'Donnell is younger than Donald Trump? And
They
she's
all are. All of them
older.
are.
And she
Yeah.
looks
All of them are.
older than Trump. He's kept himself together well. He's just always been active.
Listen, he looks so young because he never has second thoughts.
How does that keep you young?
He just doesn't. He doesn't doubt himself, so he doesn't have wrinkles.
No.
Well,
God, no wonder I look so damn old. You're
I
right.
think that's a good observation.
You deserve a second look
I
now.
think that's a good observation. I think that the most important observation to take out of this whole conversation with Trump is that he understands the gambit, the whole thing, and that you have to do all of these things. And he doesn't care that people call him retarded or uneducated or he got
He's
his
not
daddy's
afraid.
money. Like, and we know it's not true, but stop even fighting the people that are doing that. We were talking about this earlier. Stop, just observe. Just observe where they're going. Don't fight them. It's not worth your time. It's all it's going to do is make you mad. It's really, honestly, you're going to get to a point where you're going to need to take a break from the internet. Just stop. You could look at it and scroll
Wow.
on. Just scroll on. Is that Donald Trump better than any other president ever realizes all the key pieces of culture
Right.
to make a society? And
Right.
we could look at that all the way, and everyone's going to go, oh, you're a Donald Trump fanatic. No, hold on, hear me out. Let's look all the way back to the Romans, and where the only way the only way that they could keep their society together until it fell was by giving them games. And Trump's like, "But I've got better games. I'm
Bread
gonna
and
give you art.
circuses.
I'm gonna give you
Bread and
paintings.
circus.
I'm gonna give you music. I'm gonna give you theater." And all Rome could say is, "I'm gonna give you death through
Yeah.
gladiators."
Well,
Yeah.
It's a
we
big
could.
deal.
I want to.
Hard to top that, Sean. No, that's absolutely true.
And on that note, gentlemen, and I do mean that sincerely. Yes, you too, JC. Um, I have to. I have to call it a night. I mean, I enjoyed myself. It's been fantastic. Maybe some of this can bleed over
Well,
into.
you check the numbers. A lot of people enjoyed it, and thank you, folks. All right.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We absolutely love you guys. I quick announcements, updates. If you want to see more of the Yankee Sun podcast, we will be here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're probably going to be obviously Wednesday or yeah, whatever. Christmas. I have no idea what's going on Friday. I have no idea what's going on Monday, Gun Day, but we will keep you up to date. If you follow my Twitter feed at Sean Strom, I can give you updates, or you can follow either one of my colleagues here. I will tell you, JC, for you guys coming up next year, I've got a guy that's going to be joining us sometimes, just sometimes, for I Am the Science. He served in the Navy, and then he was a nurse practitioner for his entire career. And he still works in the medical field, but not in the hospitals anymore. And I think it'll be interesting to get his experience and add it into I Am the Science and see where it goes. We'll see. It could be an episode. It could be 5 episodes. I have no
Oh,
idea.
I've got a new reference source for that. I ordered a book, What the Nurses Saw.
No.
And oh, and you can look forward to some tasty tidbits about Dr. Science rolling into 2026.
Everybody, we appreciate you. We're checking out.
All right.
Now I'm gone.
No,
I'm out.
I don't know why the